Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about the recent economic growth in India's economy. I wanted to research this issue because every time that I tell people that I'm going to India or tell them that I was there last summer, they're always like, oh, India's doing really well lately. There are lots of jobs, lots of foreign trade, people are making more money, standard of living is higher, so India's in good shape. And I was kind of like, well, I didn't really experience that when I was over there last summer, so I just wanted to research a little bit and find out, like, where are these jobs being created, who's benefiting from them, like, where does the money go, and just try to find out more about that economic growth that's happening. So I did a little research on the history of India's even governmental structure. Up until 1991, India was pretty closed to foreign trade, and there was a lot of red tape. It wasn't very open to international trade. So in 1991, there was this crisis, and they responded by opening up the country to more trade, and that's why we've got more international industries and companies over there, because India does provide that cheap labor. So everything kind of shifted in 1991, and historians will look back at that date and say, okay, there was a change in governmental structure of market and economy, and from there things started improving. Those improvements are happening mainly in the big cities. Bombay is the biggest center for financial and entertainment center. That's a big city, is Bombay. And then also Delhi is the capital, and Bangalore is another big city. It's got a lot of manufacturing plants there, call centers now. So a lot of these industries are moving in and creating businesses in the cities. So that's where most people are having to go to find jobs. Most of the people being hired like in the past, they were young college students who would get jobs at these call centers because they could speak English well. And now it's becoming a little more advanced. Companies are moving over there who require more skilled laborers. So Americans are going to be getting their taxes done via Indian workers abroad. So there's going to be more skilled requirements now. So it's still in the cities. There's still most of the plants and manufacturing locations are in one of those major cities. The benefits are disputed by even scholars. Some people will say that this rise in economy has improved. Literacy rates are up from 70%. They're 70% now, about 70%, whereas they were about 52% before 1991, before this economic reform. So literacy rates are higher. However, poverty rates have not declined at all since this economic reform. So while they were hoping that there would be this trickle-down effect, that hasn't really happened. The top 3% of the population still produce 50% of the GDP in India. So you've got a very small group of elite who are benefiting the most from these job creations and foreign trade. So one of the weaknesses of this whole new system that's been developing is the infrastructure of India is still very weak. There's very bad roads, bad airports, and railway systems are very poor. The judicial system is kind of shady. There's a lot of government corruption, tons of government corruption, and within private businesses as well. Corruption and fraud is a big red flag, even now, so international trade has dropped this past year 30% because of all the corruption and scandals. So that's something that the Indian government is working to improve. So that's just some background. I think the places that we're going to be going we will be in some cities, but we'll be in a lot of the villages. I think we'll see more of the rural people who aren't really experiencing a lot of this reform and improvement. So yeah, that's just some history about where India came from and where it's going.